Hello there, this is Suzanne from Nonstop Papercrafts. Thank you very much for joining my channel. So today we're going to have a look at making these mini folios. They are a great addition for your journals because they are nice and small, or they could be a standalone project if you want to send some happy mail to somebody. So let's give you a little tour so you can see what it is we're going to be making. Okay, so here is the first prototype that I have. So this one has a ribbon closure with some decoration on the top of the flap. So if we open it up, inside we have two smaller pockets just on the inside for small pieces of ephemera, and then you have two larger pockets at either end. So this is where you can be really inventive about where you have your pockets and what you put in here. So just as an example, this one is like a mini folder again, so just again some small pieces of ephemera in there. And then on the other side I just created a mini booklet, so not many pages in there at all as you can see, but I just alternated a few coffee dyed, both plain and lined pieces of paper, and then I just ran it through my sewing machine, as you can see, just up the middle, just to attach that. So that's an option. You could obviously also staple it if you haven't got a sewing machine, but yeah, it's a lovely little folio and very easy to put together. So on this one I did use a digital kit, so this is, or digital papers rather, these are digital papers in my Etsy store. You don't have to use digital papers, you could use scrapbooking pages if you have them, or you could have plain pieces of paper which you can collage or stamp. It's entirely up to you. So that's the first one. Okay, so this was the second folio that I made. So this one doesn't have a ribbon closure, it has an altered paper clip holding it down. Again, this is made with a digital page from my Etsy shop. So this is an eco-dyed paper. I just really love how this turned out. I really love the colours on it, so I wanted to try this out as well. And then some white lace just to kind of pop along the top. And then again, when you open this up, I changed the layout slightly, so instead of having my pockets at the bottom on the last one, I've used vellum this time to have pockets on the side. So like I said, there's many options about how you do the inside. And again, to make this one a little bit thinner so it fits lovely inside a journal, this side just has a journaling card, so some more of that eco-dyed paper on the back, and then just like a foresty woodland theme on the front. And then on this side, I think this is from Tina from Shabby Dabby Doodah, one of her pages, but I just really loved the birds and the flowers at the bottom. I thought it just looked really lovely and went with these papers quite nicely. So that's where they're from. Not sure where those cards are from actually. That's another option of how you could do this. So still have your pockets at the sides, but something slightly different in them. You could also put tags in there. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so that was folio number 2. I really love these, mostly because they are nice and small, so they fit lovely inside a journal. They're great gifting for happy mail, and they are really easy to make. So let me show you how I did this. So to make the same size folios that I have, you'll need an A4 piece of paper. Obviously you can experiment with the sides, but so long as it's rectangular, this project will work. And all you need to do is fold it so it becomes a bit of a tube. Now it doesn't matter if it's not an equal folding, so long as it overlaps slightly. So I already started folding mine. It also helps if your paper's double-sided, because obviously on the inside, unless you want it completely white, you're going to obviously see this part here, aren't you? You could also cover it with pattern papers if you like, but obviously that will just add to the bulk. So if you have a double-sided scrapbooking paper or a digital paper, that obviously helps. Okay, so like I said, you want them folded so they're overlapping slightly, so you're kind of making a tube shape. Okay, they don't need to be overlapping by much. Before you stick it down though, we need to create the flap that's going to be at the top. Now it doesn't matter which side your flap is on, Personally, I always make my flap on the right, only because once it's open, in my mind it's logical that this is opening like a book. Okay, so this is opening the same direction as a book. If it was this way round, to me that feels backwards, opening it that way. So it's entirely up to you. It doesn't have to be this way. This is just the way that I'm doing it. So you could have your flap on the other side if you prefer. So all I do for that is on a scoreboard, I measure in 1.5 inches and score. Okay, so now I have my score lines, and then I just fold it to make sure that obviously that crease is there. And then when you open it up, you should hopefully be able to see where your fold lines are. Now you're going to want to get rid of this square and this section here, but try and cut just slightly lower than your score line. And the reason for that, so I don't know if you can see it on this one, so my pocket is just slightly lower than my score line. It's just so it's easier for this to obviously fold over. If you have it right up against the edge and then you're stuffing things in the pockets, it makes it very difficult to close. Okay, so we're going to cut those out. You can use scissors, you can use a guillotine or a craft knife. It's entirely up to you. I am just going to chop down with scissors. Like I say, just go a little bit past that fold line. And the same on the other side. A little bit wonky. Let's try that again. Okay, how do they line up? Okay, brilliant. Okay, so they now match up, and as you can see, there's my fold line, so it's just under my fold line. Okay, now we want to stick these two flaps down. Before you do that, you need to think about how you're going to have your pockets. So if you're going to have pockets like this one where they're at the side, it doesn't matter which way round you stick this. So if you have the fatter part at the bottom, or if you have the slimmer part on top, it's entirely up to you which way round you have them. If, however, you are doing pockets like this one, then you need to think about which way round you are having this, because if I was to have it this way and then have my pockets at the bottom, when I am trying to slide things into my pocket, they may catch on the edge of where my pages meet. Okay, so you may then want to have it that way so that it slides straight past and goes into your pocket. Okay, so it's something to think about depending on how you're having your pockets. For this one, I think I'm going to have the side pockets again because I do like the vellum ones. Okay, so to stick these down, you can use whatever you have available. So it could be wet glue. I wouldn't recommend a glue stick because I don't think that they adhere for long, and certainly because these are pockets and you're going to be pulling in and out, you want something that's going to hold. I personally am going to be using double-sided sticky tape. I know not everybody likes double-sided sticky tape. They don't think it lasts either, but I've never had any problems with sticky tape, so that's what I'm going to be using. So with whatever you have available, you want to stick those two pieces together. Okay, like that. And then all you're going to do is now fold up, and you want to fold it so that the two pockets meet. So again, don't go right up to the fold. You want to bring it down so it's roughly at the same place as the other pocket, and then just push down. Okay. Oops. Okay. And then that's your lip that obviously comes down over the top. And that, in essence, is the base of your little folio. So obviously what you do now is entirely up to you. So I like to clip out thumb holes. So as you can see on this one, I like to put little thumb holes to kind of show that they're pockets. So that's what I'm going to do next. Again, you have different options of how you cut those out. You could draw a half circle and cut them out using scissors, but I like to use my circle punch, so that's what I'll be using to cut my holes. Okay. If you really want to be precise, you can obviously measure, but I will not. I'm just going to try and eyeball it as best I can. And then snip. And do the same on the other side. There we go. Okay, I also like rounded corners here, so I'm going to round my corners for my top part. Okay, so that's now rounded. Right, and for my pockets, like I said, I quite like these kind of vellum ones on the side, so I think I'm going to do that again. But this time I've brought along, this is from a Heart of Crafts, Do Crafts. It's a glitter vellum, but I just thought it looks really pretty, so this is what I'm going to use. So to be able to make my pockets, I need to just measure the width, because obviously I don't want them too wide. So it's about 10 centimetres. Let's just see what I did for these ones. So I think I did 9.5 centimetres by 6 centimetres. So I'll do the same for this. So I'm just going to cut out 9.5 by 6 centimetres. I'm going to do 2 of them, so I've got obviously my 2 pockets. Okay, so now I've got my 2 pockets, it's time to stick them down. So again, I'm going to be using double-sided sticky tape, only because where this is clear, glue you can sometimes see through. So I am going to be using double-sided tape. But again, like I say, use what you have. That's the most important thing. Don't feel like you need to go out and buy lots of different special things. Use what you have. Okay, so just making a U shape like that. I always end up peeling the bottom bit off first. Okay, and then the sides. But yeah, like I said, I like using double-sided sticky tape purely because you can't see it on the vellum. Some tiny bits overlapping, so just push them down. Okay, and then this is the pocket number 1. Okay, so pocket number 1 adds a little bit of glitter and sparkle as well. And let's do number 2. So again, double-sided tape. Let's find the end. Now I have to say, this folio is not an original idea. It's not something that I dreamt of and came up with. It's something that was gifted to me actually in a Happy Mail. I have slightly tweaked it from how the lady made hers, sent it to me. So she had these 2 pieces literally meeting in the middle, and then must have had a piece of sellotape underneath, and then as they kind of met and went down, that held the 2 pieces together. But for me that just felt quite fiddly, and then you would need to kind of measure and be more exact. Whereas at least if you kind of make that tube shape, then it doesn't really matter. So I did make that change, and her closure was different to mine as well, how I've been doing mine. But that's what I love about these. I think they are so flexible. It really depends what you want. If you want lots of pockets, then you can create lots of pockets. You don't even have to have pockets on the inside. You could just decorate it, maybe do some collage work, some stamping. You don't have to have pockets on the inside. You could just keep it to those pockets there, and that will obviously reduce the bulk as well, because you haven't got too much going on. Right, let's put that this way to get the second pocket on. There we go, getting glitter everywhere now. Right, so there's 2 vellum pockets. Okay, so I'm just pinching this card from my other one just so you can kind of see. So I've got a vellum pocket there, and as you can see, it's, you know, fits in nicely, it's not coming away. Same on that side. Again, you've got lots of space, lots of room to put lots of bits and pieces in there. Okay, now for what to go in here. Again, I want to keep this nice and slim because I do want it to go into a journal. So I'm probably going to do a mixture of 2 of the things from there. So I think I'm going to do the mini folio from here because I really like that. Again, it's more tuck spots, more pockets. But then I'm also going to do the journaling card from here, so that keeps it nice and thin as well. So I'm going to do a mix of both of those. So let's grab another piece of paper. Okay, so I had this left over from another project. So again, this is just dyed paper that's been scanned in. Again, available on my Etsy shop, but you can use, again, whatever you have available. So I want to make, obviously, a flip out book. And then I'm also going to make a journaling card. So you obviously want to measure it so that it will fit in. I obviously don't want it exactly the same as the fold, because as soon as you start folding it up, it's going to push out. So you want it slightly shorter than your fold. And I'm just going to use my pencil to kind of have a look. So that's just under the fold. About there. So that's where I want to trim it. So I'm going to quickly do that with my guillotine. Okay, and then obviously it needs to be thinner than what it is, so I'm just going to come in a little bit from that edge, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm just going to mark in a little bit from that edge, and again go and cut this on my guillotine. Okay, so just double check that that fits in nicely, which it does. Now to decide, do I want the leaves on the outside or do I want the coffee stain on the outside? I think I'll go with the leaves, why not? Well, actually no, I'll go with the coffee stain because it kind of matches what's going up here. Okay, so coffee stain on the outside. Oh, I'll have it that way because I like the ring marks. So this is going to be my folio. So I now need to make 2 pockets on the inside. So this is the bit that I've just cut off, so I'm going to use this. And then what you want to do is so if you have a look at this one, my pockets do not go right into the fold, and the reason I do that is because, again, it saves on the bulk. So if you had that, it would be very difficult to close. I obviously want this to fold as easily as possible so that it's nice and thin going into the journal. So I'm just going to, where that is folded, cut that in half. Okay, and then come in slightly. So I'm going to want to trim it about there. How tall do we want it? About there. So as you can see, I'm just guesstimating, and then I like a little bit of a lip, so that's going to go there. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is cut up, and then where those 2 points are, I may actually draw my line because I'm not very good at freestyling it. Okay, and then that hopefully should fit in there. Excellent. And then, like I said, there's a little bit of a gap there. Okay, then to make sure that my other side is exactly the same, I'm just going to use this one as a template, and then just cut along the bottom here. Oh, actually no, because I need it the other way, don't I? It needs to be that way. No, not going to be able to do it on that one. That's fine. On this one. Almost made a boo-boo. Right, let's go. Okay. Let's get rid of that. So now I have my 2 pockets on the inside. Okay, so again I'm going to use double-sided tape just to stick those down, but again you use whatever you have available. Sorry, it might help if you can actually see what I'm doing. And the same on the other one. And the beauty about this folio is, again, you don't have to have angled pockets like I do. You could have just a straight piece here, so it's a kind of side tuck spot. It's entirely up to you. I just like the look of these kind of angled pieces, but yeah, again, you can change this up to whatever you want it to look like. I think that's what I love about it. And I have been sort of playing around, and I've made a few, not necessarily out of the patterned Digikit at the moment. I've done a few on just plain paper, just to kind of see how I want them folded, what sort of things I can do inside, how I can play about with it. And yeah, I've really enjoyed doing that actually. It's nice to kind of see what kind of variations you can have. So like I said, I did try it the way the lady did that sent it to me, but I found it too fiddly just trying to get them to meet in the middle when I did my original folding for the base. So that's why I decided to change it up a little bit. But yeah. Okay. And again, they're our 2 pockets. So let's just check. Fits in there lovely. Fits in there lovely. Excellent. Right, again, I like to round corners, so I'm just going to round the corners on this. It's completely optional, you don't have to. But I do like to round the corners. There we go. So that's one side done, and then on the other side we're just going to have a journaling card. Right, so on the other 2 I have obviously used some different laces. So this is a kind of a creamy coloured ribbon, and then it has a, again, creamy coloured flower on the front, and then I've just used some book page. On this one I kept really simple because I thought this was, I didn't want to take away obviously from this pattern, so I just again used some white, and that really pops, and then used obviously this as your closure. So for this one, I think because I've obviously got white flowers here, I quite like the white. I think the white will pop quite nicely. So I had some bit of net curtain which I've just trimmed down, and I'm going to have that going along the top of my pocket. So I'm just going to stick that down now. I may use a little bit of double-sided sticky tape just to kind of hold it in place while I glue, but everything else will be a fabric glue. So I'm just going to put a little bit along this edge and then a little bit just at the front, but then the rest I will use a fabric glue, because obviously this is fabric. I do want to make sure that it doesn't come off. I want to make sure that obviously it does stick on and stay on in place. Okay, so you can use a fabric tack. I have this high tack fabric glue, which is just a cheaper version of, but it is a high performance, it is high tack, and it is for fabrics. Also does do collaging and stuff like that, so it is good for paper as well. So I'm just going to go over the fuller part. So obviously I don't want to go where it's sheer, because then you're going to see it. So I'm just going to go over the bits, which is why I've also used double-sided sticky tape, just to kind of give it a bit more stick. I'm really sorry if you can hear my heater in the background, but yeah, I've got one of those little electric ones, and it's being very noisy at the moment. Right, might be easier doing it like this when laying down your fabric. Okay, so the double-sided tape just helps hold it in place, but then obviously the fabric glue, which does dry clear, so if it does ooze out a little bit, it doesn't really matter. That's obviously there just to really make sure that it is in place. Okay, and I don't mind that it hangs off a little bit, that's absolutely fine. There we go, so that's it with the lace on. And for the closure, to kind of hold it closed, for this one I thought we'd go really basic, because like I said, lots of people are starting out, they don't have lots of the fancy closures, or maybe have ribbons and things like that to be able to close. So I thought I'm going to go for good old elastic band. It goes nicely with this, and actually if I just pull it along the top, it holds everything down, everything in place, and it's nice and closed. Okay, and it's simple. Okay, so I think that looks quite cute as it is. Obviously you can add more to them. This is just obviously a demonstration to kind of show you how they're made, and a possibility of how to close them, where to have your pockets, and what to have on the insides of some of your pockets. I think that these are such a joy to make. I really love how they turn out, and I really love the versatility, the fact that you can do so many different things with them. Well, I really hope that you found this useful, and that you're going to give these mini folios a try. If you did, then please give this video a like. If you would like to see more crafty videos where I'm showing you how to make more pieces like this, or bits of ephemera, tuck spots, pockets, even making a journal, then please click the subscribe button. Also make sure you click the bell, because then you'll be notified of any new videos that come out. You can also find me on social media, all the links will be in the description below. I'm really grateful for you joining me today, thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful crafty day. Thanks again, bye bye now.